Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom. It's been a long time, there's a few reasons for that. Primarily, one, been super busy, as you may have seen in the community posts or in explaining in other videos, where simply life got a little bit out of control just in terms of work that needed to be done outside of YouTube, and thus I just had to kind of shelve this project. This is one of those projects that I don't want to screw up, which inadvertently means that if I'm not in a super creative mood, then I'm not going to feel incentivized to make this, because I don't want to make garbage content or make designs that I'm not okay with. So if I am busy and things are crazy and I can't just crank out an episode, I'm not going to crank out an episode just for episode's sake. So we've got a lot of fun things that we can do today. First and foremost, though, thank you so much for coming back and for watching this video, for giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and leaving your comments in the comment section if you want to support it, so that way we can kind of get back in the YouTube algorithm of things. Last time we did a little bit of expansion, we did a little bit of fun, we added a lot of really great features that I love. I mean, I really do enjoy these kind of just little pop-up things, this nice little adventure area. We probably could add a small little gravel pathway that goes through this, but well, we'll see in a little bit. What I want to do today is address a couple of things. One of those things being our financials. Long story short, while we are coming close to making an actual profit, I would have to sit here for months and months and months and just let the simulator run to be able to afford anything. So I think what we're going to have to do is I'm tempted to, I think it's 5 million that I think I'm going to end up taking. I'm going to go ahead and take this loan. Now that's going to skyrocket us, of course, 4.9 million in profit. We're profitable now. Look at this bar. It's nothing, but we have a lot of work to do. So that's the first thing we need to take care of. That's going to help us get a little bit of funds in, maybe to the point where we can start being sustainable. The second part is I need to start building things that will help me be sustainable. One of those things is expanding the Cretaceous area. Now, we built this in the last time, and I really still enjoy it, but it's got a lot of work that we still need to do. We need to make our first 1 to 2 exhibits, and we also need to make this functional for us as a whole. So one of the things that I really like about the Cretaceous era was there were a lot of shallow seas. I've gone into this and explaining that this is why we have this little shallow sea area. We'll eventually make another bridge over there. There's a bunch of shallow, not marshlands per se, but like I said, some shallow, wow, words are difficult, seas. Now what I don't want to do is I don't want people to walk too far in order to get to this place. So we do have, 3 exhibits here, and we need to be able to have something right across the bar. Now, if we were to go over into our nursery area, we will see that in the Cretaceous time period, we have already done the Aleniasaura, we've done the Oranosaurus, we've done the Psittacosaurus. And what we have left are 5 other wonderful dinosaurs. We have our Pachyrhinosaurus, we have our Edmontosaurus, Lambeosaurus, Parasaurolophus, one of my favorite animals, and then our Styracosaurus. Now these will really boost the park. Really should boost the park's ratings up. So I want to build an exhibit, possibly 2 of them, that holds 2 of these sets of critters together, each at least. Ideally it'd be something along the lines of these guys, but much larger, obviously. And of course, we do want to build into this space right here, because I think that makes the most sense. Now, if I remember correctly, the habitat marker here will allow creatures to go into here and not leave, correct? I think we're going to try it today to see if it ends up working out. But what we need to decide what to do is what goes where. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that we could do some of these larger creatures. These are kind of all the same-ish. And then these 2 boyos are, of course, pretty close as well. So the question is, do I put these 2 together and these 2 together? Let's take a look at what it takes for a good exhibit. So we have a shared formation and a shared time period here. I do believe the shared formation is the habitat, the biomes. If so, that's going to make for an A+ thing already off the bat. All right, animal rating, bonuses. Yes, there's lots of that done. So I think what we need to do here is we need to clear out some space, but we also need to allow ourselves some Grace. And I think we need to appeal right immediately over into this area. And then perhaps the second exhibit can be part of kind of a centralized deal where we go around and we have things. Now, what we could also do is, remember, we're not wanting to have a huge food court areas, but rather some small pop-ups. So it could be that the Cretaceous is a little more of kind of a bigger area here in terms of a centralized food court area, kind of like what we did with the last park, but not quite as intense. And then we kind of build around it. So that's a possibility for sure. But anyways, today might be one of those where most of the time is spent inside of super fast time-lapse mode, where Timeline Havoc might come out. So don't expect a lot of vocals from me in real time because, well, let's be frank, we're already losing a heckin' amount of money. Yeah, our net profits are already plummeting, and we need to get this park up and running. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into our nursery, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to get our Styracosaurus, who has a high exhibit crowding, does coastal and wetlands, which is the two that we're definitely doing right now. These are all Albertensis, so we need to think about that. And I think we're definitely going to go 1, 2, and then probably 2 here. Then, let's see, we need a 4-star in with it. They have a very high crowding, and the Parasaurolophus doesn't quite exactly. So I think these will be good. Now, admittedly, we only have 1 skin from here because we haven't quite done the digs as much as we want to, which is fine. That's not a problem at all. And then do we want the Pachyrhinosaurus? I feel like that might start exhibiting too many things. And it looks like the Pachyrhinosaurus needs a medium strength fence, which is fine. I'm okay with that. We have the Canadensis. All right, so we are full up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to start building over here to the side to the point where we're going to make... oh, I have a really cool idea. I think we're definitely going to roll with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Timeline Havoc is going to take over, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, everybody. Timeline Havoc here. Always happy to provide you with some commentary. All right, so immediately right at the end, you'll notice something kind of ticked in my brain on what we needed. Now, admittedly, we're going to see that this doesn't work in the end in terms of the invisible barrier, but what I wanted was to be able to incorporate an entire exhibit that goes underneath the bridge for obvious reasons. It looks cool. That way, people who are coming across the bridge can experience the dinosaurs right underneath them, literally, which I think is always a really fun experience. So what we're going to see is me switching into flashlight mode as well, but just a really kind of unique, fun exhibit in terms of shape and size that works well for us. There's a lot going on, and it's a very, very quick time lapse because I didn't want to be talking for 10 minutes straight. But essentially, we are using this exhibit as the foundation for the transition over into the Cretaceous. So it does shape everything about what the expansion looks like. And that includes some of the standards. Some of the standards being the division between exhibits, like I am typical to do, having those big rock formations there. And of course, you guys know from experience in this park so far that if we have rocks, we are going to have waterfalls. Lots and lots of waterfalls here. Lots to do in terms of just like, again, it's kind of a cheese because lots of waterfalls bring in lots of attraction. But I love waterfalls. So you're telling me to do something that I already want to do, that it makes my park better and it looks great as well? Yeah, sign me up for that. So we're going to have a fun experience putting waterfalls flipping, flapping everywhere, as I always say, because it looks so good. I love waterfalls. I think there isn't a single person who doesn't enjoy a good waterfall, and seeing them into a exhibit in nature just feels natural and feels good there. Now, in terms of ground coverings, we'll probably end up detailing this a little bit later, but I did want to experiment with the different ground types to make it look a bit natural. And then we are going to go with the coastal. I do love the coastal things the most because they look the best, hands down. And so we're going to have finishing out this whole ordeal. Again, detailing may come later in terms of some really finer details, adding some substrates, doing things of that nature. Next up though, power. We need to have power, and currently right now a generator is the only solution, but they are heckin' ugly and they really cause an issue with attraction. So what we're going to try and do, and this sort of semi-works to an extent, is we are going to cover our generators with rocks and stones and trees and waterfalls and make it look as natural as possible. And then I do create a prefab called generator cover. So that way, anytime I put down a generator, I can utilize that to the best extent. We're going to decorate it. We're going to see if that doesn't help kind of really absolve any of the negative attraction issues. We'll see how it goes. I'm not entirely convinced, but I also don't know exactly how to hide these things well enough, if that makes sense. Some final touches on the exhibit itself, and then what we are going to do is something we haven't done yet in the park, and we are going to add an observation tower. Now, I didn't have the research for the unique ones at the time, so we're going to work on that, and that'll start implementing into the future. But we are going to have some, I say basic observation towers, not in like low quality, but just some of the more modern prefab observation towers. Because let's face it, there is a lot of observational distance just with the glass pane setup of these exhibits. But I really, really, really enjoy observation towers. And not only that, we're going to utilize all the space underneath it. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up slapping down some gravel pathways that they can walk on. We're going to put benches, we're going to put tables and trash cans, just so, hey, kids want to go upstairs, they want to do the observation tower. Dad's sitting down at the bottom, you know, holding purses and gift bags and stuff, and he just doesn't want to climb those stairs because he's tired. I get it 100%. So I want to give those options to our theoretical guests. But that's about it. We're going to finish up some touches here. We're going to do things like that. Overall, love the idea of the park and where it's going. And this, I think, is a great extension into the Cretaceous. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are ready to rumble in the jungle. We are going to release all 10 animals and flippin', flappin', hope for the best. We are going to kind of split these boyos up so they can kind of walk around everywhere they need to go. And look at that exhibit store. Is everyone like, okay, we are seeing some crowding issues, which isn't the worst thing in the world. They seem to be okay with it. Definitely some crowding issues, which I find spectacular. All right, here's the real question. Are they going to move past that point? It looks like they definitely do move past that point. Well, son of a biscuit. Okay, that's super duper fun. So I guess what we can try and do is find some low-key, medium style fencing. Let's take a looky here into our boyos. We have our Styracosaurus, which needs 2.5 meters. Okay, so that is going to be a little bit ugly, but we'll figure this out in the future, and I may even put in some new things. You just never know. So what we're going to do is replace our stuff here, because I don't want that. That actually doesn't look too bad. You know what? We'll be okay with this, I think. And then they can't get out here. No, they certainly totally can. And then we might as well just replace... I can't replace that stuff, which is fine. They shouldn't be able to do anything there. Okay, now they are limited in where they can and can't go. And hopefully this holds them in. It should. Okay, I really love this. I don't know what this means, but I think we're in a pretty good spot. There's feed that we have to put in here. Oh, that's cool. That's what the termite mounds are actually for. This is fantastic. All right, so where we have a really good score here because of an animal rating and bonuses, we actually get a massive, massive rating here. A+, which should, there we go. Our park is at a 2. It should steadily increase. because we also have really high attraction areas over here. You'll also notice that, yes, unfortunately, these are unattractive areas. Trying to hide these gems is quite difficult. And it does cause some issues, as you'll see there, but I think we could probably get those fixed at some point in the future. Now, if we were to go into here and we were to super fast forward time just a little bit, my hope is that what we would end up seeing, because of the park increase, animal diversity is great, animal population is great, that maybe we'd be able to attract a bunch of people over here. And they're using it exactly like I hoped they would. They're going under the bridge. Also, why can't I zoom in even closer? They are actually using it, though. A little bit hilarious that they are actually coming in through here, but that's okay. But look at these gorgeous, gorgeous creatures. Oh, hey, hey now. Don't you be getting all in a mess. I'm going to pause this. Because look at this gorgeous, gorgeous Parasaurolophus. Oh, my word. That might be a screenshot-worthy moment right here. Just a gorgeous creature. They are just absolutely one of my absolute favorite creatures in the world. Oh, because they just look so stinking good. There's our Styracosaurus. Guys, I'm nerding out. I'm not even going to apologize because I love it. So what we need to do is some home life things here. Pretty simple stuff. Things like a kiosk, donation box, things of that nature. Now, we're going to have a couple of donation boxes right here, which then means we need the attraction things. Okay, apparently I'm going to need to do this number, which isn't a problem at all. We're going to go with a Parasaurolophus here. We're going to rock the Styracosaurus here. What we probably should do is put some things on this section as well. All right, we're going to have to totally rock the little stands here. And again, get the donation box ready. Spam the donation box. I have no issues with it. We're going to go our Pachyrhinosaurus. We're going to go our Parasaurolophus. And then we'll even do the same thing down here as well. Just being overtly informational. And then ridiculously, I wouldn't even say money grabbing. It's not money grabbing. It's donating for the sake of the creatures. Come on. There we go. We're going to have a couple of Parasaurolophus things here, Styracosaurus, and then we need to do the same across the board. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people to come across. And then we can hopefully start making some good dough. Because people like to see things. I mean, that's just what they're about. They're about seeing the adventure. They're here specifically to have a nice little adventure. So why not give it to them as best that I can. Cool. All right. We're going to get these guys rolling. Boom. Now that should be enough for now. We may add another donation box and stuff here. But what I really wanted to do also was just to create a fun little place over here to work all of that. Now what we could do, we could totally just kind of let this thing run for a tiny little bit and see what happens. Everything should be good. We have no bonuses there. We have no bonuses there either, which is okay. Are these guys... Are they pretty much tapped out on crowding? I bet we... Well, I guess we actually don't have the ability to, do we? Because this is the same Regalis. These are all Lambii, Walkeri, Hortensis, and Canadensis, which is fine. No worries there. All of these guys are all the same too, am I correct? I am correct. So we really don't have a way to boost or get bonuses over here. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Not going to worry about it. Now, if we super fast forward time, we'll see that our guests have actually drastically increased, I want to say. Let's go here. Do we have some good status things? So we're actually already not doing too shabby. I think if we ran a couple months without doing anything, we may actually turn that into a profit. Now, what I really wish we could do is get this year behind us so this little status thing is a little better. Look at that. We're actually already being profitable. We've never been, well, I won't say we've never been profitable. It's been a very long journey to profitability for this park, but I think we just broached it. Very nice. All right, so we're finally in that moment here where our profit the previous quarter was negative 330,000 buckaroonies. And you can see now we're actually really daggum close. So I think especially once this payment gets done with, we will we'll be okay. Although we do probably need to start activating some of our other kind of assets, as it were. I don't know, though. If we are already, I don't know, we'll have to see. It's a very interesting time. I need to get people over to here, and I don't know what this means. I'm unaware of what that could imply, because the gate's definitely, or the whole thing is definitely rocking and rolling well. Yeah, I think we'll actually be pretty darn okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is, in the next episode, we're probably going to expand this a little bit, bring some attraction quality in here, but also be a little bit cheeky and add a couple of other visitor entrances throughout this. I think game mechanic-wise, it makes the most sense. It's a big chunk of change, but I think it's just not realistic to expect that the current guest simulation is going to bring people all the way into here, even if we have the facilities to. You'll see that no one is crossing this line, despite the attraction quality, despite everything there. And what we really want to get people doing is coming in and spending their money and donating to the really cool places of the park. So I think that's where we're going to wrap up today's episode. It's going to be a short episode. These, again, I have a time constraint of about an hour, and it's taken me that long to make this whole system and to make sure things are up and running well. But I am super excited for this park because it really, really shows that we can be profitable until we do something like that. That's a nasty little booger. But we could definitely figure things out. I do think we're going to have to drop a visitor entrance here. And in fact, let me go ahead and drop an ugly visitor entrance here. And then we can definitely nice it up, as it were, straight into the next episode. But ladies and gentlemen, the park is going to do fantastic. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. If you want to support the channel and help make this series a success, you can totally do so by giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel, and of course leaving your comments in the comments section down below. We will be continuing the series. I will try and be a little more updated with it. It just depends on the current situations of life. But anyways, in any case, no matter what, thank you once again for your support. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.